Welcome to episode 3. We lost a student but found them. If you've listened to episode 1, we also have some Camp Chaos vibes in this story as well. And this is one of my favorite stories. It's actually going to be told by me, and it's going to blow your mind. Just a reminder that this episode is brought to you by Ministry to Youth. We save youth ministry leaders time and money so you can more effectively point students to Jesus. The thing that separates our curriculum and resources from everyone else is the fact that we have bundles all the time. Different kinds, different seasonal bundles, you name it. And we also have 1-year curriculums. So a new thing that we have is children's ministry curriculum for 1st through 5th grade. So we have that as well. Check us out online at ministry2youth.com. Now, let's go into today's episode. I want you to imagine this. Year 1 summer camp, we had 30 students. I was in my early 20s, and I had never led camp before, nor had I actually even gone to summer camp in a youth group ever in my life, because I was saved right around the age of 19. And this is just a few years later. So that camp, we had 30 students. Everything went pretty good. I learned a lot, and it was a good experience. The following summer, we doubled our numbers, and we had 60 students at camp. And the thing is that we were really short on leaders, because I'm a young leader, and I don't know how important it is to have a lot of leaders when you go from 30 students to 60 students, right? You just need to have double the amount of leaders, and you need to make sure all your ducks are in a row. So we're short-staffed, basically. We have double the amount of students. This is only my second camp, and I don't know what the heck I'm doing, honestly. So the bottom line is, the last night, the camp goes great. Everything's amazing. Everything's awesome. It's just people are surrendering their lives to Jesus. The Holy Spirit is moving. There's a lot of beautiful and good moments that we had at camp. But the last night of camp, basically, I take my boys and we attack my best friend, who's one of the leaders in the cabin next to me. We attack them. There's shaving cream involved, and there is toothpaste involved. But it's all in good fun. Nothing gets out of hand. Nothing goes crazy. There's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and everybody's fine. So I think the night's over, and then my boys, we go back to our cabin, and we get ready for bed, and we're laughing, and we're talking, and, oh, that was so great. It was so good. Well, about 20 minutes go by, and then we hear this really loud knock on the door. And I'm like, yo, Ben, one of the students, can you go get that? So as he opens the door, about 4 or 5 boys from the other cabin basically throw the door open. The door hits Ben, who then lays on the ground, and then they trample over Ben. And then we try to all push the door back so these boys no more boys can come in. And then they start coming through the window, and we can't hold them off. So this other cabin basically destroys us. They had, I would say, like those 5-gallon Gatorade jugs of water. They had it filled with water and toothpaste and cologne and shaving cream, anything you could possibly think of. And then they would come to us and they would pour it over students that were in their bed, and their bed would get wet. All of their stuff got wet. It was just total chaos. Shaving cream, anything they had their hands on, it was like they totally destroyed us, right? And then the fight goes outside. So then it's all outside now. All the other cabins wake up, and it's this big, 60 students with maybe 3 or 4 adult leaders that are trying to manage the chaos, and things get way out of hand, right? At the end of the day, our cabin was totally destroyed. All of our stuff, everyone's stuff, all of their clothes, towels, beds, soaking wet. It was insane. So then there were these big jugs of lemonade that were somewhere in the supply, bin somewhere. And a student had this thing of lemonade, and he was pouring it on one of these kids named Tristan. And Tristan is this quiet kid who normally doesn't really talk all that much. And he just goes from 0 to 60 and gets super mad and pushes this kid, I mean, really hard, shoves him down, nails him to the ground, almost got the wind knocked out of him. And he's like, "Stop pouring battery acid on me." And then he screams, "Ah!" and then runs away. All right. Now, keep in mind that this is about an hour and a half outside of New Orleans. This is like somewhere in the early 2000s. And we're at camp, and basically there's miles and miles of corn fields around. There's nothing out there. It's just cornfields and cornfields and cornfields, right? And I'm like, okay, we just need to let Tristan blow off some steam. So I'm just going to let him run away wherever he's going to go. I'm sure he's going to, just needs a little time to kind of process what happens. And then my friend Paul, he's like, "Should we go after Tristan?" I'm like, "No, just let him blow off steam. It'll be fine." And then we had to manage all this chaos because we had to, bring everybody in, settle everybody down. And then we also had to figure out where all of the boys in our cabin or my cabin, where they were going to sleep because they can't sleep in wet beds. What are we going to do about all of their wet clothes and all of that? So we had a big mess on our hands. Finally, we were able to wrangle everybody down. And about an hour goes away. This is totally my bad judgment call. Kind of forgot about Tristan. And also keep in mind, I don't know if I mentioned this, that this is around midnight, right? We're midnight in the middle of nowhere. Well, one of the staffers at the camp, because we were running our own camp, but one of the people that were on staff at that camp, he was, "Hey, about 2 miles down the road, I saw a random kid walking on the road, and I think it might be one of yours." So I looked at my I looked at my other leader, Steve, who is a police officer, and I'm, "Steve, I need you on this. We got to go find this kid." So we're driving and we're going, and we have like these big flashlights, and it dawned on me. First of all, the first thought was, this kid is going to end up on a milk carton. This is back in the day when, kids were kidnapped or missing kids or on milk cartons, or at least we had that reference point. Not the case today, right? But this kid's going to be gone. He could be anywhere in this, fields of nothing, of cornfields. He could be anywhere. A wild coyote could attack him. A hawk could attack him, or an eagle. I don't know. Do they attack? I'm not sure. But I was really getting scared for this kid because I didn't know where the heck he was, and is he okay? What's going on? So we go about 1.5 miles down the road, and then we see Tristan, and he's yelling. He's like yelling at a wild dog that is barking at him. Thankfully, the road is lit, but he's in the middle of nowhere yelling at a loud dog. This dog looks it's about to attack him. And then Steve and I get out of the car and we're like, "Yo, Tristan, we found you." And he went from total fear about this dog to total relief. And he's like, "Thank God you're here, Steve and Nick." And then we gave him a big hug, and I'm sure at that point he was crying. He's like, "I'm so sorry I ran away." And we're like, "Dude, are you okay? Is everything fine?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." Luckily, as soon as the dog saw us, the dog just like ran away and was scared off. And then we brought him back in, and we kind of talked him down, and we gave him some comfort. We prayed for him, and we brought him back to camp. And, of course, we dealt with the aftermath of all of it. When we got back from camp, I almost got fired, but good thing that I didn't. And we were able to, rectify the situation and kind of do damage control after camp was over with. All of Paul's cabin, like the boys that originally attacked us, we ended up having them sleep in the gym, and we took their sleeping their beds and blankets and all that, and we slept there, and then we, air dried all of our stuff the best that we could. So the interesting thing is that when Tristan was picked up by his parents, this is back in the day when we could get away with this kind of stuff, but when Tristan got back with his parents, I'm like, "Tristan, did you have a good time?" in front of his parents. And he said, "Oh yeah, it was really great. I really enjoyed camp." I said nothing to the parents about what happened. If that were to happen today, of course, I would have a long conversation with the parents. I would tell them everything that happened, but I totally didn't. I just didn't know what to do back then. I was a young leader, and you young leaders out there, of course, you're much smarter than me. But good thing that we found him. So yeah, we lost him, but then we found him, and that is a crazy story that those students that were in that group, many of them or most of them are now somewhere in their early to mid 30s, and they still tell stories of how crazy that camp was and how good of a time they had. Hopefully our boy Tristan wasn't too traumatized by the incident. By the time, he went to his parents, he seemed like he was in good shape. But there you go. We lost a kid, and then we found him. Only one other time. I'll tell you another story real quick. There was one other time that we lost a kid and found him. And that was, I was hanging out with a group of about 5, 6th graders. This is a while back as well. And we went to a little cafe to kind of like eat lunch and just to kind of hang out and, connect and everything. And then one of the boys, Tori, he had his best friend Sal with us, who came to a lot of our events and everything. And then all the boys got back in the car after, and then we drove away, and we were going back to bring them home. And as we did that, Tori looked up at me because he was in the back seat, and he's like, "Hey, where's Sal at?" I'm like, "Oh, Sal? I don't know where Sal is. I think we left Sal at the wherever we were at the restaurant." And so we went back, and here Sal is on the phone, and he's talking to his mom, because this, again, is about 20 years ago, and there was no cell phone. So he was using the restaurant's like landline and basically talking to his mom, saying, "Hey, yeah, they left me." "Oh, no, we're here." So we found him, put him in the car. His mom was cool after, because I already had a really good relationship with his entire family. So, yeah, only happened in 25, 30 years, well, over 25 years of youth ministry. It's only happened twice, and the second time was not as bad. The first time, bad. But we did find him, and the dog did not attack him, nor did he get lost in the cornfields of the South. So there you go. Those are my crazy stories. Hope you enjoyed them. If you've ever lost a kid, but you found him, hey, you're in good company. Just a reminder that this episode is brought to you by Ministry to Youth. We save youth ministry leaders time and money so you can more effectively point students to Jesus. The thing that separates our curriculum and resources from everyone else is the fact that we have bundles all the time. Different kinds, different seasonal bundles, you name it. And we also have 1-year curriculums. So a new thing that we have is children's ministry curriculum for 1st through 5th grade. So we have that as well. Check us out online at ministry2youth.com. If you like today's episode, be sure to subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening on and rate us. With that said, if you also would like to be featured in an upcoming episode and you're the one telling us your stories, then you can go to ministry2youth.com/stories, and you can see all of the upcoming episodes that we need people like you sharing their stories. Thanks again for listening or watching today's episode.